So basically every area of this building is haunted. Certain spots have a little more activity than other spots.
I feel it here.
Yeah, I feel it too.
This right here, we were filming a movie a few years ago for the haunted house, and the whole premise was to have a person come in who was portraying a priest and bless the building. And we were standing over here for the video shoot, and the person who was playing the priest came in from that door. We had cameras set up, we had a huge maybe 6-foot light bulb set up over here. As soon as we were already hearing demonic sounds, a lot of people hear that in their ear, hear whispers over here. We heard it, and as soon as he came in and said, "I'm Father Tom Murphy," which he wasn't, the light bulb shattered, blew up, and flew across the room right over here, and the equipment went dead. Everything went dead.
Wow.
So yeah, that kind of set the stage, and it was broad daylight. We don't have the footage. Nope. He has camera sitting right here, getting ready to record.
Oh,
so it was like our first trial as he comes in to make sure the actors got the lines right. So,
wow.
Oh, my back is...
Yep, we had a couple actors come in here, different years, and the one girl said as she was walking through by the ticket booth that night, she heard the whispers in her ear as well, the demonic voice, and she was so scared she just sat right here and started crying.
Oh.
Couldn't even get up.
I tell you, from this room to this room, there's a huge difference where my head feels like it's being squeezed with a vice.
A lot of people feel
And
that.
I almost feel like a heart attack.
I had a headache.
And just a little more backstory about the ghosts. There are lots of spirits in this building, okay? Before it was the casket company, it was something called the Western Thread Company. It was a family-run business. And again, none of this is documented. This is what all different psychics have said. And again, we didn't tell any of them the stories. All of their stories matched up very closely. The family apparently was all murdered in this building. There was a boy and a daughter and the husband and the wife. And the boy's name is Jacob. Girl's name we don't know yet. They like to run around and play, and they're not evil. We do have 3 extremely evil entities in here who are fairly powerful from what we've been told. And the one psychic who has her own radio show refuses to even come back in this building because she said she was getting possessed by them. We had another ghost hunting group come in, and we're going to take you to the spot up here. One girl felt sick, like she was going to throw up. She did. Another group comes in the exact same spot, said she felt like she was getting possessed, and she passed out and fell down right in the spot over there. We had to carry her back to the next room.
I don't want to be standing around there.
That's where we're going to head to next, if you guys want to follow me up this way. This area right here, pretty much right in this general area right over here, you're good, Wolf, is where the ghost hunters felt sick, passed out, and fainted. The psychic that refuses to come back in this building, and this is going to sound crazy, bear with me, she says that this is a portal to hell. She sees that there was a lot of satanic activity that's happened in Elgin throughout the years, which is actually, a lot of it is documented. She says that she still sees demons coming up from hell and grabbing souls and pulling them back down to hell from right here. I didn't think anything of it when she first said it. I thought she was absolutely out of her mind. And then as the ghost hunting crew kept coming in, more and more people kept getting sick. This is where the one threw up. This is where the other one passed out right in this spot. This is where we had doing an EVP session right here, and we heard a very loud bang. And we said, "Who is that here?" And then we just threw the little boy's name out. We said, "Jacob, is that you from the family that was murdered?" And you can clearly hear it say yes, right after we asked that question. This hallway right here, when we're open for business for the haunted house, all of our actors, all of our staff feels extremely uneasy as they walk through this hallway. Just kind of how you said when you came in the next room and you felt that pressure on your head, it kind of feels like you're being rushed. Something's pushing you down this hallway. They don't want you there. And we've caught a lot of EVPs, orbs, a lot of strange pictures down this hallway as well, too. So see if you kind of feel that way through the night as you keep going back and forth through here. This is where a lot of our actors have named this ghost the Mimic Ghost.
The what? I'm sorry?
I just heard that. Did you hear that?
What happens down these hallways a lot when we're open for the haunted house is it gets kind of foggy and the lights are going crazy, but you'll think you'll see another actor coming down here in costume. And you go up and you'll talk to that person. As you're talking to them, after you're done saying whatever you say, it will back up, turn, and vanish, and it's gone. And the real person who it was taken the form of will come up to you on the other side of you or where that one is and say, "Hey, who were you just talking to?" It's happened to almost every actor in here for the 8 years that we've been here. I think you've experienced that too, right?
Yeah, in the other room.
Back in the other room?
Doppelganger kind of thing? Or
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, this is the actual exit to our building. Everybody leaves the haunted house. There was a bar on the corner down here, and as of right now, there is still the Outlaws Motorcycle Club. There's only a few houses down this way. I don't know how many years ago, maybe 20, 30 years ago, there was an altercation between one of the outlaws and somebody at the bar. The fight led all the way over here to this doorstep right here. The outlaw pulled out his gun, shot and killed the guy, and he died right on the step. Some of the bullet holes are still up in the glass right there as it is.
Oh, wow, yeah, I see it.
This is where Chris Fleming was conducting his investigation with the spirit box, and this is where he asked the guy, he said, he was communicating, he said, are you the one that died here? Right through the spirit box, came back and said, fuck you, I'm the one that killed him right here. He continued to have a little more of a conversation with the guy over here too. So this is a good spot for a lot of activity.
Cool.
So feel free to take as many pictures as you guys want and sit down here and listen with the spirit box and see what you can capture. A lot of times if you mention Chris Fleming's name in these different areas, you'll get a response too. They still remember him. So.
Very cool.
All right, let's head down into the basement. All right, I don't even know where to begin with the stories down here. So, thanks. We gotta walk on the left. Demonic voices, sounds. We run contests randomly on our Facebook where we pick 3 people to come in the building and they have to sit for a half hour by themselves in the dark and investigate with the spirit box in K2 to see if they can do it in 3 of the most haunted spots of the building.
For how long?
This is for a half hour in each spot. This is one of the spots that we put people in and nobody's made it a half hour down here yet.
Really?
We set
It's
the
a challenge,
wheelchairs
man.
against the wall.
It's a challenge, man.
I'll be upstairs.
We set the wheelchairs against the wall, and a lot of people will hear scratching sounds coming either from the ceiling, the wall behind them, or something running towards them. That's usually when they get up and they run out down the hallway really fast. I had an actor working down here about 6 years ago, and he told me this is where our chainsaw guys are. And he told me that he was hearing the noises again in his ear, and if he hears them again, he's going to end up quitting and leaving. He came back down on one of our busiest Saturday nights, and you guys can see this door. It's a very heavy door, metal door. He said that he heard the voices in his ear, and this door slammed shut so hard it almost came off the hinges and broke. And this door is kind of hard to move as it is.
Wow.
So in the middle of the night, he came back upstairs, put his chainsaw down, quit, and I never saw the guy again. He won't come back in this building. When we were running our contests, pretty much every person that was down here has been scratched. They'll have 3 marks on the back of their shoulder blade. It's always on the back of their shoulder blades. Another girl was actually bitten, but that's the room we're going to go to in a few minutes. Had this camera, and this is the weirdest one yet. I've never seen or heard any of this ever since. But he was shining his camera down here, and he said he almost saw like a green orb and a green mist come through. The night was really quiet up to then. Right when he saw that, he had all of his professional equipment, all the batteries died and everything, his cell phone and his cameras, everything, all when he saw that. All right, guys, what's your step? This is what we refer to as the Left 4 Dead area.
Left for dead.
The psychic that came down here says that this is an Indian burial ground, so that there's hundreds of bodies buried underneath here from the Elgin Asylum, which is about 1.5 miles down the road. We have caught a lot of activity down here.
So you said a psychic said this is...
She was
Indian
supposed to conduct a seance with us down here. It was all supposed to be for a TV show.
Hey, wasn't this chair facing the other way?
And she couldn't walk down here when she came down here. She claimed she was getting possessed, and she had to get out of the building for a little while, and she told us it was not safe to be in here.
Wow.
Like Wolf was saying, this is the room that he worked in. This was the black church. We had pews set up over here, and we had mannequins braced all over the pews. Now, they weren't screwed in. They could have fallen, but they lasted the whole year with people sitting in the pews, bumping them. Nothing ever fell down. I came in the next morning, and I checked the video screens, and the one mannequin, it was over here, it was standing pretty much right behind you, it was standing here resting on a pew, was down on the ground. I thought, well, maybe a big raccoon came in, bumped it, knocked it over, something happened. Rewound the footage, nobody came in, there was no animal, nothing was in here. All you see is the bottom of his cloak, it blew up in the air, and there was another mannequin kind of where Pat's at. You see something below on that mannequin, and the tiles at the exit blew, and the mannequin just fell down. Nothing else moved at all in the room. It was just laying flat on the ground. All the psychics have confirmed the same thing for this area. One of the most evil entities in this building is, they call him the pig-faced guy, because he sees himself as a real ugly guy with the pig face. Apparently, he raped and murdered over 12 women in this general area. The psychics can still see the women's souls trapped in this area. When I was with her, is it this one? Yep, it's this one. I was standing right in front of this mannequin, and this thing is extremely powerful, and she said it had just manifested itself into this mannequin, and I just kind of jumped away. Ever since, this thing really gives me the creeps.
Is that the one with the punched-in nose?
That's the one. Every contestant that we've had in here has been scratched, and the one girl has even been bitten on her inner thigh.
This is the room?
This is the room. She came back, and I said, there's no way you got bit. She went to the bathroom, took a picture. You could see a perfectly round mark with teeth marks coming all the way around on her inner thigh.
Well, that makes sense. Inner thigh, if this is a rapist.
We had a zip line set up, which we still do, with one of our actors that was in costume, which zip line across that room to the other side on a platform. Everything is rated for 2,000 to 3,000 pounds. Everything's hooked up the exact right way. For some reason, a huge pin pulled out of a tiny hole when she was on it, broke and sent her flying into the wall. She's all right. She got a few scratches.
She actually she hit the floor.
Oh yeah, right into the
on
floor.
my feet, yeah.
Oh man.
It was right there.
This
Yeah.
one.
Even one of the guys, we had a couple big haunted house reviewers come in here, and one of the guys knew nothing about the history of this room. He was walking through, and one of his reviews, he wrote, "The room with all the mannequins, there's something wrong with it. It makes me feel evil. It's a feeling that I should not be in that room. I have to just get out of there." And when he came in for the ghost tour, I explained to him, I said, "It's a funny thing, you should say that. Let me give you the history on this room." There have been numerous things that have happened in here. We had a dad and his two daughters come in last year. The one daughter was only like 12 years old, and we had a little platform sitting over here. For some reason, the night was really quiet that night. Nothing happened. We had a K2 meter here on the platform and another one here, and the spirit box was going. They asked it a question. I forget, something came through the spirit box. I believe it called the girl's name. Right when that happened, both K2 meters went all the way to red, and actually it held it there, and they were both beeping in for a few seconds. And the platform, she said, "Daddy, I feel like the platform's shaking," and it shook, and then the night, everything was dead right after that for the night. So I don't know if that was a warning for people to get out or whatever it was, but it was really creepy. So this is another one of our challenge spots for somebody to sit in here in the dark with the mannequins.
When I first started in here, I used to work in this room and the room out here, the next one over. And what happened was, this was completely different. This was like a church room kind of a thing. So there was like a lot of crucifixes, statues, pictures on the walls. Then there was like this little hallway here, and on the side was like a confessional. So anyway, I was stationed myself in between the two walls, so I jumped out at people because there was a curtain right here. One night, I heard my name being called out over here. They just said Wolf, and it sounded like a kid's voice. And that happened like twice. So I went into what was used to be the old dressing room, and they said, I asked them, "Was someone calling me?" And they said, "No."
So this room was where the mannequins were. We took them all out right now, moved them back there, so it's empty. This room hasn't been investigated yet, but a lot of people have seen the mimic running around this area as well. So try this room, see what you guys can capture.
Cool.
And right over here on the other side of the wall is the emergency exit hall, where the mimic ghost has been seen running around constantly. One night we're closing up shop, we're leaving, it was maybe around midnight, 1 in the morning. We were exiting this emergency hall right here. Normally this is plywood and it's like a long dark hall. We're coming out, and the best way to describe it is it felt like that door opened and something, the walls are 8 feet tall, something over the top, his head was over the top and had horns, was watching me. And it opened the door and it came out, and I felt something grab the back of my arm right here. And I was so scared, I moved my arm, I threw the elbow up, and I ran and I pushed who was ever in front of me to get out of the way. I've never done that here. I never get scared like that. I kept it quiet, didn't say anything. When Chris Fleming came, well, before Chris Fleming, a psychic came in, and she said, "What happened over here?" She said, "Somebody was attacked over here." And I didn't say anything. I wanted to see what else she said. And she pointed to me, she said, "It was you." And she said, "You know what it was?" She said, "It was the head evil entity in here. He knows that you're the owner. He knows that you love scaring people, watching all the stuff that's been going on with the haunted house, and he wanted to show you that he was boss and show you what it felt like to be scared." So, yeah, I'm getting goosebumps just saying that.
Wow. Yeah.
Didn't tell anybody after that. Chris Fleming came in a few weeks after. He said the exact same thing. "What happened over here?" And he goes, "Tell me, Mike, because I know it was you. Something attacked you over here." He had the exact same story.
Wow.
So
Good validation.
this might be a good area to investigate right over here.